I have a quote I want to read you guys from Paul Heyman's interview was during Fanatics Fest that I guess just wrapped out here in New York. He said, "I could not imagine somebody coming in this era and saying, yeah, I've seen enough of the Bloodline, enough of them. All right, Roman, thanks a lot. See you later." If you had to give me a percent of the amount of fans that are WWE fans, hardcore, casual, doesn't matter. They watch Raw, they watch SmackDown, they watch the PLEs, that are not enjoying the Bloodline storyline, that are not enjoying Roman Reigns right now. What is that percent?
I would probably say something really low, because to say that you're not enjoying it, that means you don't want to watch it. So I'll probably say maybe, let's go with 7% of people who are WWE fans that says, I don't enjoy the Bloodline right now.
I'm rolling with Kishi on this one. I'm rolling up in the black
said?
Chevy. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, Bloodline is
Lincoln.
Oh, it's a Lincoln. I keep on forgetting. It's one of them old black old cars, man. You know what I'm saying? But look, Bloodline is feeding the industry right now, baby. It's putting food on everybody's plate. So I'm rolling the shotgun with Kishi, man. Like, because if you ain't down with for the Bloodline, then you're not a WWE fan, to be honest with you, right? Because one of the big reasons why the company's high as it is because Roman Reigns and the Bloodline been doing this thing. So if you ain't down with that, I got two words for you.
Yeah, I got it less than 3%.
Mm-hmm.
Has to be. I mean, now, because if you don't like Roman in the Bloodline story, and I'm going to assume you may not like Jey Uso, that's a lot of television real estate to not like. So you probably aren't even watching WWE if you don't like them. But I thought that was interesting and entertaining. Heyman also made a comment surrounding what we've always been saying, that far from over with the story. Now they're into the story, the part of the story of Roman Reigns is back, but Paul Heyman's not back yet. Bloodline is here. You know, will they have more people coming to the Bloodline? What side would they be on? Where does Roman Reigns fit into this situation now that he's by himself fighting numerous Bloodline members? Who does he get to help? Who can he get to help? So I think he made the inning kind of situation again and said, we're not even in the third inning yet.
Really?
Yep.
He said we're not in the third inning yet?
That's what he said, I believe. I got him right around about the third or fourth inning. That's where I think it's at total.
Wow, we got like Interstellar type time relativity going on right now. That was like 3 years ago that he said that we were in the third inning.
That was where he was at in the championship reign.
Got it.
That
okay.
wasn't the Bloodline.
Got right. I'm about to say
ball of wax right here, baby.
We on Gargantua right now. Every hour is 10 years.
That's over my head.
In our time.
Like,
Interstellar. Oh my God, Interstellar! Come on. You don't remember?
Actually, I do have a question because you brought up. It has nothing to do with what you brought up, but it's
like
a
Interstellar
thing.
I can tell you about that.
I'm gonna ask a question and we'll intro the pod and get to it. And tell the truth. I need 100% truthfulness.
I always tell the truth. Always tell the truth.
Okay. Don't believe it, but okay. When you see a pregnant woman, that is ugly. I'm gonna just throw it out there. Mm-hmm. Not attractive in the slightest.
Mm-hmm.
What is the first thing that comes to your mind?
She got some good.
A baby in her? I don't know.
He's like literal, like she's pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was because I saw one a couple days ago. I was eating breakfast at the hotel. God bless her. She may have been a sweetheart of the lady. I don't know. But the first thing that popped in my mind, and I was like, I got to ask this question because it's the first thing that pops in my mind a lot when that happens is, man, somebody actually was attracted enough to you to put a baby in you.
That's you wild right now. No, but for real though, the real talk. The very first thing I would say is she got some good. The second thing would be she's just a sweetheart, an absolute sweetheart. And again, you say ugly, so that's your feelings or your thoughts around her being ugly.
Yeah, she may be beautiful to somebody else.
Right.
So how about this one then? What if they're both ugly? So you see the mom and the dad. The woman's pregnant, she's busted, and he's busted. What's the first thing you think about then?
They gonna have a cute kid, because usually anytime I see two busted people, they got a beautiful child. Like the universe is like, hey, I'm sorry I fucked you and you up. I'm gonna give you a cute baby. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a cute baby. So that's the first thing I think of that. Two ugly people.
That's just hilarious. So look, if y'all really attractive out here, you may have some ugly parents. But I can't say that because our parents are ugly. I think we all attractive on this pod, so it's all good.
Dang, we just got canceled by a whole bunch of people in the first 7 minutes, and it wasn't even us talking freaky talk. Sheesh.
Look, he muted up on that one. All right, let's go ahead and preview this pod then. Welcome to the TFW podcast. I believe, if my math is correct, it's episode 159 of this show. I do know my math is correct on who we are, and we are 3 the hard way. You guys know what the deal is.
3 the hard way.
Thank you, Mr. Knight.
Oh, he's scared.
Rhodesia's in the house. Ishan's in the house. Ishan is battling either COVID, cold, sinuses, or allergies. He doesn't know because ain't no point in taking tests. I asked him if he took a test right before the pod. He was like, man, I was about to, but what's the point? Ain't nobody taking COVID serious nowadays. We look at that just as a cold. So hope you feel better, brother. You look all right. We can get through this podcast and rock this thing out, man. Y'all know we are the best kept secret in wrestling podcast. So shout out to everybody who listens to us twice a week or watches us on YouTube. Y'all know where to find us. We on Twitter. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. Y'all know all of that. I think I forgot. We haven't done like rest in peace in a while. And I thought about it because Alpha passed away just a few days ago. Rest in peace to Alpha and that entire family. Of course, we know Sika just passed away, but maybe a month and a half ago, or somewhere around there, maybe less than. So rest in peace to all of them. But I think we missed a couple of wrestling deaths. So my apologies on that. I did, in light, think it was pretty hilarious when Alpha passed away. I think he passed away on Friday. He did. It was the day of SmackDown. I was on Twitter, and it seemed like every wrestler in the world was wishing their condolences and calling him, Pops, or it wasn't really Dad, but it was like some type of like name I forgot they were using that you would like they're part of the family. And it was just so many stories of like, you helped me do this, you were there for me here. And then you kind of get to thinking in a great way. We know how many legit blood family members there is in wrestling. I think we kind of forget a little bit of just how strong that bloodline is in wrestling in general, with how they've helped wrestlers and what they've done for the wrestling business. So I did kind of giggle when I looked. I was like, damn, every wrestler knew either Alpha, Sika, somebody in the Samoan family. They've lived, of course, a tremendous, huge, incredible life. I think Alpha was born in 1943, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, it's never easy when somebody passes. My assumption is going to be the family knew how sick he was. I think it's safe to say the family probably knew how sick Sika was. But that doesn't probably make it any easier. Maybe it does make it easier. I know for me, it makes it easier when you lose a family member, when you kind of know it could be coming, opposed to just quick and sudden. But thoughts and prayers to everybody in the family. And thank you for, of course, the decades of entertainment that you brought us as wrestling fans. Thank you for the magnificent and incredible bloodline you brought into this world, that until we are gray and old and dead and gone, they are still going to be running the wrestling business, because they still coming. From what I can see, one of them, I guess, was at what was the last big SummerSlam. Something happened with a booking. I think it was Zilla, if I'm not mistaken. He had a booking at an independent show, and then people thought he no-showed the booking to watch SummerSlam in person, but it was something with his travel. But he's a young guy, and I've seen just clips here or there of him. He's gonna be in WWE, I'm sure. So this thing, so maybe that's also what Heyman's talking about, Rhodesia. But he's like, we're not even the third inning. He may be talking about every single Samoan that is in this legit bloodline that has not gotten here yet, and they get to tell their story. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, because we haven't talked about wrestling depths in a little bit. So anything you guys want to say on Alpha or Sika?
I think I'm going to echo your sentiment. You said it perfectly. a family that we hear about the McMahons. We hear about when Cody first did there's more than one, was it royal family in the wrestling. And you just think, and then you just think about, wow, but they kind of have them beat. Of course, the McMahon created WWF, but what they've done and what they've contributed to what we enjoy so much of. Yeah, thank you for your family. Thank you for bringing it up in the household so that your Roman Reigns, your Jay and Jimmy Uso, that was in their bloodline of them wanting to even wrestle. Was it somebody who didn't? Probably, granted, The Rock's father is not Samoan, but I think that even he kind of didn't want Rock to wrestle because at that time it was a hard, 300 days on the road, not a lot of money, pain on the body, trying to fight drugs and all that kind of stuff. So some of these parents probably didn't even want their kids to get in wrestling because it was hard on the body, but they did. But again, it just shows a passionate family and that, what is it, the Fala? I forgot what it's called. That the red necklace means everything.
What's that blue necklace mean?
Yeah,
we'll get to that. What's the blue one mean?
Yeet.
Dude,
that's blasphemy on. That's blasphemy on their
follows. That's a yeet necklace. That's a yeet necklace.
Ala Fala or something like that. I'll look it up.
Yeah, but rest in peace, Wild Samoans. They're a little bit before my time. I told you guys the story about Sika, how I forgot to shake Sika's hand at the autograph signing. I was so mesmerized by Haku. But yeah, man, they leave behind an awesome legacy that's not stopping anytime soon. We got so many people on the horizon. Like them, all them cats got, like 4, 5, 6 kids each. You know what I'm saying? Like they get in there, man. And see, like, look, no pause, full go, man. You see, they just like me. All they know how to do is go deep because they produce boys. Shit. They produce boys. You know what I'm saying? So like we gonna see.
So if you go light, Samoan you produce girls.
Yeah, you gotta pull out a little bit. You gotta pull out a little bit. You can't go.
That would make sense
because they say the guys, the male swimmers aren't they can't go so long, so they gotta go boom. We're in there and get out. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the female swimmers, they go a little bit farther. Yeah. So you gotta go.
That's true.
So you gotta go a little light for the girls, but they got a lot of boys on the horizon, man. We got Zilla, still a young man. He looked like a big grown man too. So we got Longer coming up pretty soon, right? But he ain't part of that family. But that legacy is bright, and I can't wait to see what they do next.
You did bring him up. What's his name going to be?
It's Longer.
You sure it's not Tala?
I was just rolling with it.
No, it's Tala Tonga is what it's going to be.
I was rolling with whatever y'all was saying.
Yeah, it's Tala Tonga.
Hey, wait, real quick. Talking about Longa Tonga, especially since we're talking freakiness right now. I can still get in the first 15 minutes. Yo, so Will Ospreay got me with the gray sweatpants. I don't even look at Roman like this, and Roman got me with those black sweatpants. So for all the ladies or the guys who like Roman, know what I'm talking about. We saw when he did the ooh-ah. Keep them black sweatpants, Roman.
That's crazy. That would not even cross my mind at all. But hey, like, do you love who you want to love? Be who you want to be with.
Yeah.
I brought up Tala Tongan because on Twitter after SmackDown, my guy Brandon James, we were talking back and forth on Twitter, and I had basically said, I forgot what the caption was on SmackDown. It was something to the fact of like the OTC Roman Reigns ends the bloodline once and for all or something. It was like, when they send out the emails and they do their marketing before SmackDown. And I had tweeted, I was like, oh, so Roman's getting his ass kicked tonight by the bloodline, isn't he? And then after he did, I just, quote tweeted and put, yep. And Brandon James has sent me a text or a message and said, it looks like he'll need a secret rep of his own. And he hit me with a gift of Taller Tonga. I said, I think Taller Tonga is going to Bloodline 2.0. I don't think we see any of those Samoans involved in the OG Bloodline. I think that would be a mistake. He said he thinks Taller Tonga would go with Roman. What y'all say?
right now where I'm at, I'm going to say no. I think it's something very special, something very sacred to that original bloodline. Hence, even the shirt, the marketing of OTC. So it's like your OGs. So for me, at this point, I think that would kind of be bad for the bloodline, and I think your Roman part of the bloodline has to be your originals. Has to be. That's how I feel today.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But you know what I do like though, because I think someone I can't remember, one of the wrestling sisters said that she didn't like the idea of Cody being involved on the War Game side with Roman and the Bloodline. I kind of like that. I like the idea of Cody and Roman tagging. I want to actually see it. I want to see the new Mega Powers 2.0. I want to see Cody and Roman together. I think if we get that War Games match, you got the original Bloodline, right? You got the Usos, you got Roman Reigns. You got to have Sami in there, right? He was such an amazing part of that story. You got to put him in there, right? And they need a fifth man. Why not Cody, right? He's been in that story and in that Bloodline for at least for about a good 2 years. I want to see the new Mega Powers 2.0. I think it'd be awesome to see Cody in there with those guys. See Hugaleo or Tala, whatever we want to call him, over with his brothers. It will make more sense, right? I don't know why he would want to, unless he really hates Lois wrestling like the rest of us.
Hey, leave my guy alone.
He wants to distance himself far away. He's still Samoan, but he's like, nope, I'm not even touching that.
Leave the legend alone. Leave the legend alone.
They told that man don't even show up on SmackDown.
Well, no, but he's got to sell the chair shots.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what I appreciated. He's got a chair. He's got to sell those chair shots. So, then you're out on it. You want Tala Tonga with the new Samoans and with the Bloodline 2.0. I think that it just makes sense to have any of the new members right now go with 2.0. Because Roman met Jacob Fatu on SmackDown.
That's what we call a meeting. That looked like an on-site. That looked like an on-site to me. I don't want to meet nobody.
I love to see that. That's what I thought we were going to get last SmackDown. But there's a world when Jacob Fatu is the leader of 2.0 and Solo goes to the OG Bloodline. Those are the stories that we have an opportunity to see. Everybody keeps talking about this whole thing of Jay and Roman. Yes, that's going to be special. It's going to be special when we see Sami and the Usos with Roman together. But when they can tell that story of Solo going back to his brothers and Roman, man, we out of here with that one.
Agreed.
And there was a little bit of, they showed their hand just a tiny bit on SmackDown because you let Solo tell it before the physicality started. Solo was kind of like, man, if he gets this, he's a tribal chief. It was kind of just like matter of fact. But I guess just like you would with Lord of the Rings ring, right? Whoever's got the ring got the power.
I feel like though I was a little bit confused with that comment that he made because we saw a lot of vulnerability in Solo this week. So to me, I felt like when he said, well, he have to get it, but then he still kind of jumped him at the end. That to me just didn't hit. But again, I guess because he's a bad guy, right? So that's probably, it's supposed to be, I'm supposed to feel that way. But I felt a little bit off when that segment came up. If he wants it, he can get it. And then kind of him showing he was vulnerable.
You know what? I thought about that when I heard that line, right? He said, well, I guess we got to acknowledge him, right? So after we get to the point in the storyline when they got to acknowledge that Roman Reigns is the tribal chief, right? And that could be a year from now, right? This whole thing, this whole infighting can happen. The Tongans don't got to acknowledge, like, Roman. Like, right? That's not legit their blood. Like, right? So you could see a world where the Tongans may be led by Fatu, which would be kind of messy a little bit because, you know, Fatu is legit their blood, right? But you could see a world where the Tongans are like, nah, he ain't our guy. Our guy is right here. And we got a whole other, feud. Now, Paul Heyman could be right because, like, I don't always believe everything Paul Heyman says because, he's like he's a salesman, right? Going back to ECW, he'll tell people anything. It's like the stories that people will tell about Paul Heyman, like the things he would say to wrestlers. Like I was listening to Stevie Richards. Shouts out to him. I was listening to his podcast the other day, and I guess he had like some kind of tooth or something that was wrong with something was wrong with his mouth. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but Steve didn't have the money. He didn't want to get taken off the road or something like that. This is the ECW days. This is back when they were hot. Like Paul came up to him and said, "Well, hey, I know a guy in New York. He'll take care of your mouth for him. Wrote his name down. Wrote his address down. Go see him in New York. He'll take care of you." So Steve like, "Oh shit, bet. All right, I'm about to get hooked up." So then Tommy Dreamer is walking by. He goes, "Stevie, Paul's lying."
Ooh.
He's like, "What? Like, no, he know a guy." Like, "No, he doesn't, Stevie. He's lying." Stevie like, "All right, whatever, man. I'm about to go ahead and, get my mouth fixed. All good, right?" He goes to New York. I think he had to, from Philly, he drove to New York. I think it took 2 hours or something like that. He gets there, goes to the address. It's like a deli shop. And so he's like riding around and it's nothing but a deli shop. You know what I'm saying? He's like, what? Like, well, hell, I mean, it's the doctor in the basement or something like that. But long story short, Stevie never finds the doctor, but he got a sandwich out of it. But so he drove 2 hours to go to this place, which was a deli. All right, and he didn't get his mouth fixed, but got a sandwich. All right, so Paul Heyman says all kinds of things, but I actually might think he might be right about this bloodline thing being in third inning. There's so many branching stories that can happen with this. It's going to be incredible.
He was trying to send him to go see Dr. Isaac Yankem, DMD.
Real.
And
Doctor who?
Before Glenn Jacobs turned into whatever he is now.
God.
And he was Kane.
He was
the fake
Isaac
Diesel.
Yankem.
He was Dr. Isaac Yankem, DMD.
Go
do your
first
Googles.
Dentist.
Yes.
The first
dentist of the pro wrestling industry.
That sounds like a
Had
trash
real jacked
gimmick.
up teeth. Oh, man, wasn't great.
Okay.
Oh, look, Rhodesia, to see
early 90s.
See, when we talked about how many times that Vince McMahon hit, how many times he misses, this mofo, he had a million misses, man. And you can thank the 90s for it too, man. It's ridiculous, these gimmicks he gave these dudes back
Everybody in the 90s had to be a character. So we had a trash man, we had a farmer, we had a dentist,
had a hockey player.
Was a character. Everybody, the goon, everybody was a character.
Nice.
And then so you look at NXT 2.0 when he took that over, you see that's why it looked the way it looked.
Got it. Super animated. Got it.
But yeah, so really enjoyed the end of SmackDown. I thought that was great. Like I said, I thought that was possibly where we were going to get week 1. And Jacob Fatu he's the one. Like some people were thinking it was going to be Solo and Roman as the match. Of course, they'll probably will still have their match, but the match before we get to Rock, Roman, the match, you can see it, is going to be Roman and Jacob Fatu.
Imagine getting your butt whooped with a guy in a boot.
Super kicked, eating it.
We talked about the Air Ones, right? Don't super kick me with Air Ones on. Jacob took it to the next level.
When Roman goes to Superman punch Jacob and he no-sells it.
Ooh.
And the look, because we know Roman's incredible with the facials, right? With the look he's going to be able to display without, because he still ain't said a word yet either. So we also can talk about that now if y'all wanted to. This man, Roman, gave us, it comes out with the OTC hoodie, and then there was footage after the show. He takes the OTC hoodie off to give it to a fan. He had an OTC shirt on.
Yes.
I don't know how I feel about that, but he's done so much with not saying anything. The story he told in his facials and his body language, which grabbing the necklace, putting the necklace on, and legit doing the Thanos impersonation when Thanos put that jewel in his hand and he shot and got all the power. We got all that. Got all of it.
Which I thought was pretty good. Like on paper, right? That sounds really cringeworthy. Okay. Roman holds the Alafala up. I probably need to figure out the name of it. And right before he hawks up,
red necklace.
The red necklace on. He puts it on and he hawks up, about to do the Thanos snap. and then gets attacked. Like, you would think on paper that's like, oh, okay, this is like the suck attacks, whatever. I can't even pronounce that word, Roman right now. But he executed that there, and the crowd was there for him 100%.
We ain't got much to talk about today. I got to pull this video up. Have y'all seen the video of this old black man who was pissed off that Roman had the necklace and then he lost the necklace? Have y'all seen this yet?
No.
Yeah. So, okay, before you play it though, like at first I thought we left staged videos in 2023. So I'm like, why are we doing this right now? But as y'all gonna hear, as this video goes on, he is shoot like legit.
This is real to him. This is real to him.
Absolutely.
Shout out to this guy. I don't know who he is, but I can't wait for somebody to see this and get this man some ringside.
Seriously.
Y'all want to give ringside seats to all the Cody fans and the little kids? Give ringside seats to this man. Absolutely. This man is probably 50 years old. This is how he looks. Just so you know. Anybody who's watching on YouTube, man. Okay, you can see his face.
He like Danny Glover. Right. Don't you like Danny Glover? So
this
I feel like Whitney about to come whoop his ass, man. I feel like Whitney about to come whoop that man's ass right now.
So this is right as soon as they are standing over Roman Reigns. You got, of course, Tama. You got Solo. He's got the necklace on. And then you got Jacob. All right, so here you go. Enjoy this 49 seconds of incredibleness. If I can press play. There we go.
So who the tribal chief now?
Roman Reigns.
But he can't be the tribal chief if Solo just said he the tribal chief.
He just did for a short minute.
No, he not. He just had the little thing around his neck.
But he's not the tribal chief.
But they just beat up Roman Reigns.
That's what it is. But he still don't make him the motherfucking tribal chief.
He said he the tribal chief.
I don't give a fuck what the fuck he said. He's not the motherfucking chief. Roman Reigns is, and that's my final decision. So don't gonna question me or ask me no more about who's the chief. Okay.
You like do-rag Vince McMahon when you mad. You know who do-rag Vince McMahon is?
No, who is it?
Just say what up. Never mind, don't say it.
I don't give a fuck what he thought.
Shout out to that guy. I thought that was hilarious. So it's still real to him. It's still real to us, man.
Yeah.
But he felt that. He said, I don't give a damn what you say. He ain't no motherfucker tribal chief.
He got all tongue twisted.
Oh, man. So, yeah. So that was great. What else y'all got from SmackDown?
It's interesting, you know, as far as how you used to call me out for, and I brought this up recently on the pod several times about my
not watching wrestling.
Yeah. So listen, I pulled a Blood and Guts Part 2.
Oh shit.
So for people who
SmackDown 1000.
Man, so for people who didn't hear that episode when I told y'all I was watching actually Battle of the Belts instead of Blood and Guts. So I'm starting to watch SmackDown, cut it on, super dog tired. All right. I fall asleep at LA Knight. And I thought it was interesting because Matt, I said this like 5 times about I fell asleep at LA Knight part. And Matt didn't correct me. So, okay. So boom, I fell asleep. I go into the bedroom and I go back to YouTube TV to resume what I was just watching. I was watching last week SmackDown. And I'm like, this just doesn't even seem right. Now, full transparency, 2 Fridays ago, I was not watching SmackDown because I was busy cooking. We were in Brazil, so I didn't know. The only thing I knew was the very end. So finally, late last night, I go back to try to finish watching it because I fell asleep again on LA Knight. I literally went to the bedroom, cut it on. Like 2 minutes later, fell asleep on LA Knight. So then late last night, I turn back on YouTube TV. I fast forward to LA Knight. I'm like, hey, this doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem like where LA Knight was at. I'm tripping. I finally didn't realize till midnight last night that I was watching 2 different episodes of SmackDown and that in the end, a 2-hour show ended up being 4 hours. And I'm like, dang, like, I know Matt said the Street Profits match was just there, but I really like the Street Profits match right now. What the hell was Matt talking about? And lo and behold, I was absolutely watching SmackDown twice. This past Friday one and the Friday before. But it's interesting because LA Knight came in the 9 o'clock hour 2 weeks ago. And then last Friday, he came out at the 9:05 time. So they have him definitely at a spot. Hey, you're not number 1 right now, but you number 2. No, and I was like, you've got to be. Okay. I'm talking about as far as That's not what I'm talking about.
Because Roman
I'm
Reigns
talking about in the time slots. You can have Cody open, you have LA Knight in that second hour, and then the finish off the pay-per-view or the finish off the show, you got Roman Reigns.
All this is the ghost of Cody Rhodes coming to haunt you. Ever since you ain't stand up for that man when you went to watch him live in Chicago at SmackDown, you can't watch a damn episode correctly. That's all this is.
But again,
even the AEW Cody Rhodes is coming back to bite you in the ass. You was watching Battle of the Belts. We ain't watched Battle of the Belts since Battle of the Belts 3.
I am not about to have to go through this again. I did not stand up for Cody, not because I did not like him. So please stop trying to push that narrative. I don't even want to get worked up again about why I didn't stand up because I almost got some wine spilled on me. So come on, Matt.
Speaking of Battle of the Belts, E, what you think about Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes as your new ROH tag team champions?
Excuse me?
Yeah, I don't care. You know, and now and Dustin, he's also the 6-man ROH champions with the Von Erichs too. So like, I don't know if this man. I thought about when he won. Yeah, when he won with Sammy, I'm like, damn, is he like? Are they giving him kind of like a? Is he about to wrap it up soon? Because we mentioned a couple shows ago that his contract was coming up in September. Maybe on his way out, and they're like, yo, let's go ahead and give you some accolades on the way out. Show we appreciate you and your contributions. So we're gonna have you win as much as possible. Because he lost majority of the time he's been in AEW, right? So maybe this is their way of giving back. But I just thought it was really strange that he would be a champion in one promotion. I guess that's what ROH is, with different partners. This is really strange.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Rhodesia, you brought up Street Profits, DIY, and them killed it on SmackDown.
Absolutely,
as I knew they would. Like that wasn't. It's not the bill to bill with the Profits. Even, and maybe I'm just super hard on the Profits, like I am on AEW. And boy, am I giving it up today about AEW because I got time today. I do.
You do got time.
So maybe that's why I am like that with the Profits, because I just see so much potential in them. Like, but this shit is old. Like, even down to Montez throwing it to commercial again. Like, I'm just over them. I'm over their act. I'm not over them in the ring. Of course, I'm not over them as people. This is nothing personal. I'm just only talking about the characters of what we see on TV. The match was fantastic. It's not about the match. It's about their presentation and how they're being used. I'm over the presentation that we're getting. I'm over that we want the smoke. I was
just about to say that. I was just about to say that. I'm so tired of that. Unlike the yeet, we want the smoke. It's been going on for over a year now, and it never was at a point where like how yeet is. So you're saying the same thing 1 year later. Well, evidently you not going to a fire because you want the smoke. You're not in any prominent position at all. Like, and then on commentary, they just kept on beating the drum about Dawkins. And again, we know what he's done as far as kind of transforming his body. He has gotten a little bit of aura going on now that maybe he wasn't years ago. But it was almost laying it on thick. If I was not a Street Profits fan, which I am a Street Profits fan, if I wasn't, I would have kind of been a little disgusted. Like, they were just, and Dawkins this and Dawkins that. And it's like, okay, so once again, is Montez not going to be on his own? Or are you just trying to make sure that this tag team both show as equal as possible? But that's not the case. Montez is a star. Not saying Dawkins isn't, but Montez is straight money. So overall, I love the match. Of course, that gives me the NXT vibes, black and gold vibes as far as with the DIY.
Gargano said it. Gargano said he wanted to do a NXT black and gold style match with the Profits. Mission accomplished.
Absolutely love it. But just overall for me, for SmackDown, I know you said you didn't have much. I just want to touch on a couple of things. Escobar. You
don't care what E thinks about the Profits versus DIY?
Oh, my bad. What you think?
I mean, it was. I mean, I don't feel strongly about the Profits either way, to be honest with you. I mean, so it was fine.
See, but that's a problem. That's a problem.
But it is a problem.
Yeah.
Yep. It is a problem.
I don't like. I like B with them. I thought the matches was fine. I like Tez. I'm not the bit for a singles run with them, to be honest with you. I'm just not. And with Dawkins, like, I'm worried they do split. Like, what does Dawkins do? I just don't see him being a singles guy. I see him, like Jimmy. Like, Jimmy is fine, right? But he ain't Jay. Like, right? You think about you got Marty and Sean, right? I don't think Jimmy is Marty, you know what I'm saying? But I think Dawkins would be closer to Marty than Jimmy is to Marty. Like, right? I'm just really worried about Dawkins' career if they were to break up. So I'm either way, I don't feel strongly either way about them breaking up or staying together. I think they're fine where they are. I mean, I would have liked the heel run from them, but we saw what we got. We saw who you get from a heel run with the Profits. We saw it.
But that wasn't real, man. That was like,
why wasn't it real? It was real as
and
hell.
all that caricature faces and the caricature faces that Montez was making when you're supposed to be a bad guy. Like, come on,
man.
Like,
them ninjas was baptized, Matt. Them they weren't no different to toe. That was the head right in the water. That was the head in the water.
On a team that's not that important, and you still have the same presentation with Bobby coming out there looking like a damn American gladiator. Still got the pyro in his entrance. Still got the suits. They suited and booted. Anybody booing them? No, give me like a legit heel type run.
Flashy,
do something dastardly. Yeah, like I don't know. I don't know what they need to do, but yeah, for me, it's just it's not clicking anymore.
But we got New Day going through their thing. So now, like I told you, once we get New Day, then we move on to Street Profits, then we can move on to LWO. There's a plan in place. There's a plan in place. I'm in those rooms with them. No, I'm joking. But like I said, Escobar, I guess I'll just say it here. Escobar was, and I know he took a quick detour, he was what I always thought Andrade was going to be. Escobar is vibrating at such a high level. His demeanor, his presence is just so exciting. That video package they had at the restaurant, like, it felt like straight mob stuff. Like, I mean, it was so good to me. I cannot wait to see how he blooms more and more into this star that he is. Like I said, I thought that this was supposed to be what we would have got out of Andrade. But here we are. I'm getting out of somebody, and Escobar is killing it to me.
And Electra Lopez, my God.
That group looks great, man.
Yeah, they look fantastic.
Like they look great together. They're a handsome group. And Electra is just beautiful, man. Like she looks like a star. But I told you Andrade's problem is the verbal part.
Yeah.
Like he has a very, very thick Mexican accent. Like, right. I'm sure he speaks English very, very well, but his enunciation is very thick. It's almost like he mumbles it, right? And with WWE, you got to be able to articulate. Santos is very articulate. He sounds great. He looks great, right? They're almost the same guy. Santos is Andrade, except Santos can articulate and he can get on the microphone. That's why we need to get Selena back with Andrade, right? She could be that mouthpiece for him, so he ain't got to worry about it.
Bingo.
Or maybe they waiting.
Give this man that, please. E is going to make sure he gets that in every single podcast.
Every single podcast.
Ain't done it yet.
But look, I thought about maybe they're waiting for Charlotte to come back. Maybe they're gonna pair them on air.
I told
together,
you, I do want that. I so want that, and nobody wants it.
Great idea about
her coming, putting her under the mask.
That shit would be a damn. You don't want to talk about caricature. Charlotte coming out in in the damn lucha.
Well, hell no, she could come. She could do what Andrade does. He comes out with his mask and then he takes it off. Which again, it's hilarious watching like those episodes when he will come out without the mask on. They're trying to figure out which one makes more sense. But Charlotte,
they still trying to figure it out.
They still trying to figure out. But Charlotte could absolutely come out and then take it off. Again, I don't know if it's insulting or disrespectful. I know nothing about like lucha wrestling. Like, if you wearing a mask, are you supposed to always keep it on? I just always remember Rey Mysterio when he came to WWE, like it was forbidden to demask somebody. I don't even know if that's the proper word, but I didn't know if it's demask. Everybody knows what it means, so it's a word to me then today. But I don't know if it's disrespectful to that style of wrestling. But the two of them, they absolutely can come out.
I tell you what, I could watch Carmelo and Andrade every week from now until Survivor Series, and I wouldn't get tired of
match.
They have a really nice, I don't want to say special yet, chemistry, but their chemistry is great.
You think we getting that best of 7 with them, Matt? It seems like that's where we're going, right?
Man, either best of 7
3, right?
or first to 5. Yeah, we're at 3 now.
Yeah.
Andrade's still up 2-1.
Yeah,
but and all their matches feel different.
Yep.
So they're not running the same match with just a different ending. These matches are Completely
Because
different.
it's different finishes each time. So
Yep.
That I had to wrote that note. That Judas effect. That I don't know the real name of it. That Andrade gave to Carmelo. I felt it. Now I watched it twice too, just so you know, because remember I watched SmackDown a few different times. But that Judas effect was nasty and sick. And again, I love how that match flowed. Some people probably think it was maybe too much with high flying. I don't call it high flying, whatever the words I usually use. But that was my style of match. And it was still all there. They trusted each other, being intense, and giving it to each other. Stiff. Pause.
My baby can roll her words and say Andrade and say Gunther and all that incredibly well. She cannot name a wrestling move to save her life. And she damn sure gonna make up a word on these podcast here episodes.
Was it not a Judas effect though?
No, it's not. That's disrespectful to Andrade. Because Chris Jericho stole that from him.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, Andrade been doing that since we seen him in NXT.
F you, Jericho.
For real.
Swagger
If we
Jack.
saying F you Jericho just for that, then you need to do your Googles on Jericho too.
No, I remember. No, I already said
just,
F you Jericho a while ago.
Wednesday.
Remember?
Just watch every Wednesday. I had to fast forward through that again. Like I said, I'm gonna give it up on AEW.
But did you see with Mercedes though? What I was talking about, how beautiful she looked.
We ain't there yet. Yes, but yes, you were 100% accurate.
I don't know if I said it on this show or not, or if I said it just
but not
as
this
personal.
show.
Okay.
I watched a lot of AEW this weekend too, by the way, since I've been sick.
Okay, so you'll be able to give it up with me too then.
Yeah. Fell asleep on a lot of it too.
I will say this: we sitting here glowing incredibly about SmackDown. That opening segment was horrendous. That segment was horrible.
What's the opening? I can't
Tiffany
remember.
Stratton,
That's what I thought. Okay.
With the whole party.
Boy.
You thought it was bad? I thought well,
it was horrible.
Okay.
It was horrible. And it's fine to say it's horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible. It's not about not being able to have fun. It's not about any of that. It was bad.
But Nia gave the vibe like she didn't care.
Either NXT 2.0, not even now, or that if somebody said Vince McMahon came back and he said, I gotta write a segment and it's gonna be on SmackDown, we would all know which segment Vince McMahon wrote.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. But when Nia came out though, she almost had that vibe, that feeling like, what are you doing here? Like, I mean, what are we doing here? So yes, it was really cringy. And Tiffy was not about to bow down to her either. She was like, nope. But I think Nia, that was meant to be like that. My opinion. I'm not gonna be that tough on that segment.
I thought this was bad too, but I like how they kind of did it a little bit, like as Rhodesia said, like because Nia was like, yo, she came out there like, yo, this is cringy. Like, what we doing here? She gave that whole vibe. And before we get into like the segment, man, Nia came out there looking like a freaking queen, man.
Yeah.
She came out looking like a mother trucking queen. When they had her on that throne, she came out there. The makeup was on point. That was probably the best looking crown I've seen. I think Baron Corbin had a nice crown too, but her crown looked great. Outfit was on point. She came out there doing her thing, but yeah, she did come out there like, yo, this ain't what I want. This is cringy. I'll say this too. Pretty Deadly. They're pretty horrible, man. Like I wanted to, like at first I kind of liked they act because like they were like but man, they horrible. They're horrible in the ring. I don't like none of their matches. Like they stuff is not that good to me. Like I'm gonna give them a couple more chances, but they kind of on their way for me, man. But I do like at the end of the segment because we got a really bad segment, but it made a badass out of Michin. Mia Yim came out there.
Yeah.
You know, she came out there like, you know, put it out in misery. You know what I'm saying? So you think about it, she got like a big pop. It was like, yo, this is a terrible segment. Thank you, Mia Yim, for coming out here and ending it. And she did a great job with the kendo stick and everything. I love that they're giving that woman like props, right? And we're talking about representation, right? A lot of people always forget because, you know, Mia Yim has very strong Asian features. She's a black woman. She's a sister. So we're talking about, you know, people of color, black people aren't getting pushed on the show. I mean, we had in the opener, we had Mia Yim coming out looking like a badass, standing tall, right? We had Carmelo, you know what I'm saying, 2 strong segments and strong matches. I can't even get the words out.
Matches up.
Yeah. Then we had
the
big three. Then we had the big 3 standing tall. So when we talk about Like,
No,
this like black
we
people not
didn't.
getting up there.
Yeah, she
Unfortunately-
lost.
yeah.
Yeah,
She
she
did
lost
Unfortunately,
against
Big
Blair.
Blair.
they're probably going to stand tall next week. In
They
what
start telling
world
next week.
does Blair Davenport beat? And once
This
again,
world.
who knows what SmackDown is going to give us
Mm-hmm.
this coming up Friday?
Right.
But when I saw that, man,
I was a little disappointed.
I was
I
about to
wasn't.
turn channel, but I had nothing else to
Why?
do. I was sitting in the hotel room
Why?
because Davenport does not have it. You want to talk about Pretty Deadly not having it? And actually, and this is not being mean. If it's mean, I mean it is what it is. In my opinion, she hasn't been great since she's been signed with WWE NXT.
Who is she?
Blair
Blair?
Davenport. I wasn't impressed in NXT. I'm not impressed now. She's just not ready. And I don't know if it's a shit to get off the pot with her. She's not ready though.
I like
And
Blair
just for her
wrestling.
to lose.
Yeah,
That's
it shut
one of
that back to me.
those.
Mhm.
That is one of those. You have Naomi beat her, and then they come down and beat her down, and then Jade and Bianca comes to make the save, and then you set the match up next week.
Right.
You don't put Blair
Hey,
over on.
but you know what though? They brought Naomi back to be a veteran. Like, right? She's like in a natty role.
That's what it costs
in
Natalia.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we ain't
she's
seen
in a
that
natty
since
role.
she re-signed that contract either.
We ain't got
They
to.
set her
She
for a
getting
big
paid and laid, baby. TJ
Set
know
her
what he
for a big
doing.
What else? You got anything else for SmackDown?
My name was getting dragged through the mud on the Twitter talking about Cody. One thing I will say, I'm going to give Cody props. So let's mark this down, whatever
Let's
minute
mark
time
this down.
minute this
Let me
is
mark the clip.
on episode 159. Matt knows this. Ishan, I don't know if you know how I feel about champions and their championship titles. I don't ever want to see you, if you are a champion and you don't have your belt on you, or in Roman's case, he had the wise man holding it for him. I don't ever want to see you as champion not have your championship.
If you feel
you're on
this
TV.
Rhodesia, look in the camera. Don't look at your notes. Fuck them notes.
I'm not looking at my notes.
Yeah, you.
I'm not looking at my notes.
I
I was looking at me.
I saw them eyes.
No,
I was like, you
I was looking at me.
Is this an essay? Is this a speech?
No,
Give
literally, I don't have notes on
rough
this.
and raw, Rhodesia.
All I have is Cody and the title. That's all I have is my notes. I was looking at me
Cody and the title.
because I'm getting hyped. Listen, if you are if you are a champion in professional wrestling, if you are on TV, especially if you're in the ring. Now, if you're backstage, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You have to have your title on you or somewhere around you. I have to give it to Cody because Cody came and did a run out. Don't even know who came out and ran out. I don't even remember that part. He came, ran out. He threw that belt in that ring so hardcore. So now that championship means something because he's going to always travel with it. So bravo, Cody. That is my biggest pet peeve when I see, and Toni Storm used to do it all the time. She not have her belt with her when she comes out running to the ring. Cody, thank you.
Man, us wrestler fans, we picked the biggest hills to climb, boy. Woo.
I got so hyped the dog came over here to check on me, see if I was okay.
Which he had to because they needed to do the piece with KO touching
For sure.
the belt and then giving it
For
to
sure.
him. No, but I get it. I'm all about yes because it shows that means everything to you. And I put it on Twitter. Boy, that was a nice little pop.
Mm-hmm.
Cody got. Granted, that crowd was there the entire night. Tremendous.
Yeah, they wanted it.
Tremendous crowd, and that adds so much
No
to
pause.
wrestling.
They wanted it so bad.
Man, okay, sir. You know what? Typically, we are the ones that are out of control. You are out of control right now.
Hey, look, this.
Over there.
Oh yeah. I am straight up there, man. This man, look.
Promethazine.
I was trying to get something up today. I wanted it so bad.
And you sick?
Horrible. I felt so horrible. I'm like, I don't know how many pumps I can get. So I just let it go, man. So this code has really messed up my love life this weekend.
You'll be all right, man.
Katrina's like, hey, baby, come upstairs. I'm gonna give you a rub down. I already know what that means. I'm coming, baby. Oh, the rub down, everything get rubbed down. God damn it, everything.
Happy ending.
You getting a happy ending?
Happy, right? I'm like, baby, I'm coming.
And then you out.
I was like, no. I never made up steps. I never made up steps. I like, cause I heard her call me, but I was already falling asleep. You know, like when you you kind of sleep and you hear somebody, like I heard it. It sounded like it was like coming from down the hall. Babe, come up the steps for your rub down.
Oh shit! Either
And
E
I'm
was
like,
dreaming or E died. He went to
and I'm
Big
like,
time.
I'm
He
like,
come
all
to the
right,
sunken
baby.
place.
He sure
I'm
did.
like, hey, I'm coming. I'm really trying to come, right? And then all of a sudden, woke up, neck got a crick this morning. It's 6:30 in the morning.
But we all been there. And if anybody who's younger listen to it, you're gonna be there too. You may think that getting down is the most important thing, and at times it seems like it. But we have all been there where you think you about to, and you fall asleep. It just happens.
Yeah, mine
Sometimes you
usually
gotta
come
put-
from drinking
yeah.
though. Mine's usually like, oh, let's go. And I always felt like they like we were part of the Truman Show, and in that line with Jay-Z and Beyonce, he's talking about, I want to see you back up, all that stuff he was saying in the car. I was like, he probably just watching me and you at a night out, because I be talking
That's
mad
women.
junk.
That's
Okay,
women.
because I be talking mad junk.
Yeah.
I get back at home, I take all my clothes off, and I'm going straight to sleep.
Well, first you
I'm
don't
dead.
even make it to home. You fall asleep in the car.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
And at that point, it's like, okay, I already see how this is going.
Yeah.
And then we go from there. A night on Twitter. Let me think. So all right, so SmackDown was great overall. Some bad pieces, but it was overall good. Austin had a interview this past weekend where he talked about WrestleMania 40. He was supposed to be there, but he couldn't make it, and he wants to be at WrestleMania 41. But he also said wrestling is a young man game. He was able to come back and main event against KO, did some cool things. Feels like time has kind of passed, but never say never. I'm still holding out hope for CM Punk, Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania. I think that's a match that it's a travesty it didn't happen when it was supposed to happen. Are y'all there for Punk versus Austin, or is it more of just, if it happens, cool. If it doesn't, I'm fine.
With the timing of everything, and this just popped in my head, so again, I probably need more time to think which one I'm about to say here, but I would rather see Austin go against John Cena. Seeing that John Cena, that he's about to enter his last year of wrestling, or I guess his last year of wrestling, and if Austin can come back, I would think I'd probably rather see the two of them work than Punk and Austin at this very moment.
If I would see Austin in the ring, I would like to be against somebody like, I thought like the KO and the Austin match was a good piece of business, because because KO at the time was a nasty heel, and he still was. I don't want to say he was young, but he was there, right? And the Austin rub, I think, would kind of help him, right? I think like with Punk right now, I think kind of like too much time has passed to where like Punk isn't that type of heel right now. Like, like 10 years ago when he was that straight edge society guy, and like Austin was the anti all of that. It made a lot of sense right now. Right now, like Punk is an old man. Everybody kind of want to cheer on. They want to see him as the face, whatever. I would rather see Austin in the ring against somebody that's more of a younger heel that can benefit from being in the ring in the program with them. And maybe not even so young, maybe like a Drew McIntyre. It's somebody like that. Who's another heel that's kind of on the up and coming.
You want somebody who can just bump around for him. Bump around for him, make him look good. You can do a hardcore type of match. No DQ, because you don't need to go just in the ring, bell to bell for 15 minutes or so. Yeah. Go out there and have a fight.
Yeah. Like, a Carmelo, a Santos, somebody like that who really can benefit from being in the ring with him and give him a good match.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. I don't know Austin comes back. Actually, I know Austin doesn't come back for that, especially after main event Mania in his home state of Texas and doing it against KO, et cetera, et cetera. The Cena one is that's intriguing, but I think
because have we ever had Austin Cena?
Nope. But if you take what E is saying, that guy would be Punk. Punk could bump around for him, get thrown around. He'll be the shit talker leading up to the show, and then get his ass beat during. Of course, he'll give Austin some back, but that may need to be. I don't know if you do face versus face with that.
I don't think you do.
Punk,
but you know what? We need to have a conversation about Punk. Maybe Punk ain't the guy that bumps around people anymore. Maybe Punk is much like Austin. He needs people to bump around from him. The motherfucker been, kids in the other room. The mother trucker been getting injured almost every other match that he has
he did
for the
fine
past
at
5 years.
SummerSlam, though.
Yeah, well, that's one match, right? Then the next match, he might be at the point to where he needs to work a limited schedule and people need to bump for him.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So like you got two older men, who can't really, who Punk shouldn't, like he probably isn't at the point right now. He probably doesn't think that he's the guy who needs to be, take a chill in the ring, but he probably should, like, right? And Austin definitely is. I don't want to see Austin taking suplexes on the concrete again. Like, right? Like them days is over. I would much rather see it like a Drew McIntyre or something like that in the ring with him. And I don't want to see face like Cena, and like Cena, this is Cena's last year, y'all. Like, right? He ain't my guy. Like, I'm glad he's gonna do it for y'all. Great, right? But he should be a babyface doing that. I don't want to see a heel Stone Cold either. I just don't think you got a Stone Cold coming back for, maybe his last match against a match against one of the last matches with Johnson Hill. Who's the fans going to cheer?
Like, but you look
who they going to boo?
You look at Icon versus Icon. You look. I'm looking at just Cena to Punk.
Remember, about that.
Yeah. I know. I remember. Yeah. I'm passionate about that. I can look in the camera on that one. I remember that. To me, I just feel like they both are older. They both are just like a legacy act. So this is like just that legacy match that we'll see. Where I feel like Punk is not. Yes, his body is getting more wear and tear on it, but I don't call Punk a legacy act. I consider him an active wrestler, which he is. So for me, that's what I'm saying. Because Cena in his last year, this is where you load him up all the dream matches. And I just never remember Cena and Austin going against each other. Hence why I brought up that as a pairing, because it's two legacy acts. No one's really going to get anything out of it. No one's going to really lose anything out of it.
All right. I got a Raw question for you. So I was saying Fanatics in New York was this past weekend. Somebody took a photo. Did y'all see this billboard for Raw on Netflix?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Just real quick, and then I got a question. So it says Raw on Netflix coming January 2025. It's a huge billboard. Okay. Here are the names of the folks that is on this billboard. KO, Braun Breaker, LA Knight, Bayley, CM Punk, Gunther, Tiffany Stratton, Io, Sky, The Judgment Day, Damian Priest, Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Randy Orton, Nia Jax, Rey Mysterio, Naomi, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, AJ Styles, Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Seth Rollins. Let's play a game. Do I think all those people are going to be on Raw? I don't know. That's the question I have. So we go to January 2025. You have an option to either, as fans, have the best wrestling show you've ever seen for a year and a half straight, every single Monday. Still 3 hours, whatever it's going to be, but it's going to be the best wrestling show on a weekly basis you've ever seen. Do you take that, or do you take it as it is right now, where both Raw and both SmackDown are really good every single week?
I think at high level, you would probably take the best wrestling that you ever will see in your whole life. Amen. But when you actually pull the layers back and think about the ecosystem that we're in right now, they are clicking on all cylinders. Why change that up if it's not needed? So if you take more than a split second to think about it, I would personally rather keep the integrity the same as it is now. Maybe you can go a little bit more edgier because you're on Netflix, but don't shit on the product that you have in SmackDown just so that you can say Netflix is the best thing of all time, because Raw and SmackDown are clicking right now. So I would probably say, thinking through it, I'd rather try to keep the integrity the same and try to have two really great shows instead of one fantastic show, because then what we saw what happened with Dynamite and Rampage.
We're not talking about AEW right now.
But I'm just saying, as far as your question, that would be kind of what I would feel like if we had a really great show in Raw, because it's on Netflix. Something's going to just give and take.
Best show ever is what I said. I didn't say really great. I said this is going to be the best wrestling show you've ever seen every single week. Meaning it is surpassing anything we are seeing.
But that's
what
I'm saying. So right. So then now SmackDown becomes in secondary. And I lived through the time of WWE when SmackDown was garbage. I lived through that time. So I would rather it still be a very great Raw and a really great SmackDown every week.
I think that you're still going to see the soft brand split, whatever they do. But I wouldn't be opposed to like the first Raw on Netflix be like a super show.
Mhm.
Like one of the instances, like I said, I would imagine that it's going to be more eyes watching this particular show than average, right? And you kind of show out for them, right? When you got company over seeing the house for the first time, you show out, you put the fine china out, like, right? I got a whole like level of dishware that we only pull out when the company come over. And it's up there all year long, right? Like we pull that boy out when they come out and when they visit or Thanksgiving dinner, you know what I'm saying? And you put out that fresh linen for the company. You show out, right? Like I wouldn't be opposed to them doing that. So the first Raw is just like the best matchups or the best acts on the first night of their first programming with Netflix. I'll be all for that. I mean, I think a business should do that.
Give me the best show ever every single Monday. I'll take whatever I get with SmackDown. I mean, it's not good. I just don't watch. But if I can say this is the best wrestling show that I've ever watched on a weekly basis, I'll take that. Granted, once again, I don't know if all those people are going to be on that show because there are some people who are left off of that banner. So they don't have everybody on there. I think that's more of just all their top superstars on the banner and, just saying. But when I saw that, I was kind of intrigued. Like, hey, I wonder if they were to do that.
Hey,
how that would look.
Eat on your fine china now. Burn your candles now. Take out the good dishware and stemware out now while we're young and thriving. Don't wait for somebody to come, just company.
I gotta tell y'all something, man. I'm a very proponent of like plastic plates.
No,
I don't like washing dishes. Yes,
no.
Paper plates. Like, hey, you know what? I just got into paper cups.
No.
Yes.
You say no like you don't know that. We've been
I don't like doing
house
dishes
plenty of times.
But I'm usually intoxicated. But that's a little bit different because we're usually drinking beer, drinks and solo cups, and then we're doing pizza. So we don't usually do like if he's talking about like.
So now you can't use fine china on pizza? Is that what you're
saying?
Saying?
Oh, I will.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Use that fine china, E.
Yeah, you gotta take out the nice dishes. If it breaks so well, that means you're living. Live. Don't wait. Where's my camera at? Where's my camera at?
Me. It ain't her.
That's when you get a dishwasher.
Okay, you know
have
what,
a dishwasher,
when I told you
and
about
that's when
the
you
camera,
put
I
it
didn't say
inside
lean into the camera because you still have to talk into the microphone.
Oh.
Jesus Christ, 159 episodes in, you still figuring out you have a microphone. All right, we moving to AEW because they also need to figure out how to do television.
Oh.
So I am no longer going to apologize for being hard on AEW. A lot of times I'll say, man, I kind of go through my thing. It's because I want to do great, blah, blah. I'm just done with that. And I even thought about, like, maybe I should do, like, a segment every single week, like, called, like, Monday Morning Quarterback, where I just break down, like, Dynamite and just talk about the things that I feel like they could be better. I'm not going to do that, probably, but I do want to talk about two things in particular. E, you said you watched the show. Rhodesia, did you watch Dynamite?
I just saw Mercedes.
That was all
and
you saw?
And the whole segment. Yep.
Got it. Okay, so we podded last Wednesday night. And after we pod, I was like, let me cut Dynamite on. I think I even said it on the pod. All right, let me cut Dynamite on. I turned it off an hour into it, and I didn't watch the rest of the show until last night because I was so turned off. And here's why. I just want to break down the two segments that just really had me like, you can't be serious right now. So I'm going to start with the Mercedes and Sheeta match. Great match. Rhodesia was right. Mercedes looked fantastic. Nothing wrong with the match. Issue comes at the end of the match with the Britt Baker and Kamille business. Kamille is somebody who you should be pushing as an absolute monster. She should be the Beth Phoenix of AEW. And they treated her just as a normal, regular person with Britt Baker when Britt came out and took her sweet little time to come out there. And she took her little sweet little time coming into the ring. And then basically they had Kamille grab Mercedes away and they run away. They didn't literally run, but they walked away. This is what I talk about when I talk about wrestling one-on-one. You keep Kamille hot. You have Mercedes push Kamille off. And you can have Mercedes say something like, we want to have her intact for, All In or whatever the case may be. But that's how that's supposed to go. Now, they did try to fix it, and they did it on Collision a little bit, where Kamille came out and just, beat Britt's ass. Britt tried to hit her with a kendo stick. Didn't work. She broke the kendo stick over her knee. Tony Schiavone goes crazy like he's never seen the kendo stick broke before for somebody's knee. And then
he would call the wrestler for 30 years.
He's another one that he's a caricature of himself. I'm not going to get on him yet because you brought up earlier talking about how they were putting on super thick for Dawkins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go into that right now, but it's some things I hate. Actually, I will. I hate when they do that when you can see it a mile away. And I know we're the hardcore of the hardcore. But if I can hear in the commentary, you got a plan for somebody, I don't like that. I can't stand on WWE when the babyface is winning the entire match. The heel does one move, they go to commercial break, and either Michael Cole or Corey Graves will say, give me a heel. Drew McIntyre, say he's been getting his ass whooped the entire match, right? He hits a clothesline. Drew McIntyre is dominating. We'll be back after this commercial break. He only hit one move. I hate it. Can't stand it. Tony Schiavone.
Well, Tony Schiavone, I told you my piece with him when he got on Collision a year ago. He messed up that dynamic on commentary. But continue.
Tony Schiavone. I've been knowing this for a while. He's a caricature. It started with the Sting thing, where you had to say Sting every single week. Okay, cool. I get it. If that brings people to feels, okay. But he does that like every episode. And not Sting, but whatever the thing is, he will just stick on it. And he will raise his voice. So, okay, so we're past the women part. I hated that. Y'all got anything on that before I go to how he completely just killed a moment and the way they did something after that? So I was already irritated with the Kamille thing because I'm like, okay, you're doing this wrong. Like you didn't put any more extra heat on Britt Baker. That segment didn't do anything to make me want to see Mercedes and Britt or Kamille anymore. And remember, she's new to the territory. She should be looked at as a monster. Mission failed. Did y'all take anything from that at all?
Definitely not as critical as you. I actually liked it a lot. I saw some rumors that Dr. Britt Baker didn't seem like she had her aura like that she should be having. I didn't feel that way at all. I was actually really excited. I liked the exchange. Sure, as you're mentioning it now, I can see, hindsight being, was it 50-50? 2020. I can see what you're meaning, right? Because you could tell a better story. So now you're making Kamille be that dominant force. But again, just from me watching that segment, I had no problem with it at all. And I actually was excited to see Dr. Britt Baker in there. Because she was about to hit her with the face thing. She put the glove on, almost got it on her, and then she got yanked out. So for me, I was almost like, oh, you can't do it. Yeah, I was about to get irritated because she was about to put the move on her, but because she didn't actually execute it, I'm like, okay, there we go. So maybe I was just relieved that they didn't give me that yet because we need to wait for that. Maybe that's why I'm not as critical as you were.
Got it.
When I watched the segment and when I watched the segment on Collision with Mercedes, I was like, damn, what a missed opportunity. So I told you when they brought that woman on the show, like she has to be a Hulk Hogan in that women's division, like right, like because like I'm glad she got her bag. Get your bag, sister. Right, keep going to the bank. Give me some too. I'll give you my address. You want to DM me. But man, like I don't like when I watch her segments. I'm like, I wouldn't watch the show just to see her segments. I wouldn't watch the show just to see her match. I wouldn't watch the show just to hear her interview. To be honest with you. And I thought that's the way they need to book her coming in originally. She came in there with 1 million+ views, sold out arena at the Boston Garden. And now the way it's presented, it seems like it's just another angle, another wrestler on the show. And I feel like it's a shame. We haven't got to it in the minute yet though, about Saraya on Rampage. And what a abysmal show that is. That show just looks empty. It looks disgusting. She was going back to the Wembley show. She won the championship a year ago. She talked about it in her interview, but they ain't did shit with her in over a year.
That was just a year ago?
Yeah,
just a year ago.
Yeah.
They ain't did shit with her in over a year. You think about it, they get these big stars on this show. And when they come to the company, they just don't do anything with them. Anything like Saraya, Mercedes should be such a bigger deal. And look, and at the end of the day, they tried with Mercedes. They paid her. They brought a writer in for her. They gave her creative influence. But it's just not clicking the way it should at a high level. I'm not saying she's a failure, that she's not a great wrestler, and she's not going to be a top draw for that company, but she's not a needle mover. Like, right? She's not bringing new eyes. I don't think the way she's presented and the stories that we're seeing are something you're going to say like, oh, you know what? You got to tune in on Dynamite and Collision. You got to see what Britt and Mercedes is doing. It's not that. And maybe, we just found out that, Britt, and we haven't talked about it, Britt got into that altercation with MJF and she got suspended. So we never know how that kind of played into the booking of the storyline, but it's just not what I thought it would be, right? Much like I thought the Toni Storm and Mariah storyline isn't what I thought it should be. Not saying it's bad. I would say in terms of wrestling, these storylines that we're seeing right now, they're pretty mediocre for wrestling. It's like it's average. Like, right, we've seen these type of stories multiple times in multiple promotions.
That's the problem, E. So like
it's basic, right?
So they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be basic.
I gave you a prime example on how they could have made that segment better, right? It would have made everybody look better. If Britt would have darted to the ring through the crowd, show some type of sense of urgency.
Like show hazard fire, right?
Why are you walking if you're the baby face, right?
She don't want to blow herself up.
That doesn't make sense. You rush to the ring. You have a piece of business with maybe a stare down with. What you could have done was you have her rush to the ring. You got to stare down with her and Mercedes, right? Kamille moves Mercedes out of the way, and now Kamille and Britt are staring each other down. Crowd should be popping at this point because you're letting it breathe. Mercedes grabs Kamille, they leave. Now you're going to get the boos because this is what I want to see. Then you can do what you did on Collision, but you don't have anybody looking bad in that moment. So yesterday, I kind of said something quickly on X. Eternal said, just with Monet and Britt, I feel like they don't want to work together. I'm hoping Monet and Hater is better. I think it's time to be honest about Monet. And I said, you got a hot take? He said, it's been long enough. It's not working for me. This TBS title reign isn't it. She's a fantastic talent, but some people need a strong creative. She's booking herself like Vince did Roman from 2015 and 2019 and Austin Theory. Nothing feels organic. And I said, I absolutely got to respond on the pod that we're doing. Before I go, what do you guys think about his response there around nothing feeling organic? She's a great talent, but it just isn't clicking. He's been kind of saying that. So I'm sure you say, yeah, but Rhodesia, what do you think about that?
I don't see any difference in, I almost called her Sasha because I was thinking about WWE time. I don't really see her promo being any different than what she has always been. So if it's inauthentic now, I feel like it was inauthentic then when she was Sasha Banks. So for me, again, I said this, about 2 months ago, right after whatever it was, when she started wrestling again, her first match back, that was when I'm going to clock my time on my feelings toward Mercedes. Is she as big as I thought she would be? No, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that she is, as far as making me feel engaged and invested in her. But I just can't get to that point yet. So I don't 100% agree with that. I've always felt that Sasha, what's her name? Mercedes. I always felt that like she was always been cringy to me. Like when she roll
that tongue when it's time to talk about Gunther, but can't remember wrestlers' names.
Because I'm thinking about her. I'm thinking about her whole actual career. So, but she's always been this.
You're trying to figure out a way how to say something very pretty and no, it's Jamie Hayter is her name. Okay, not Hater or Hotter. Okay, her name is Jamie Hayter. Her name is
Jamie.
Britt
Well, Jamie
Baker.
Could be. Was it Hayami? Point is, listen, I think he's probably a little bit critical on his comment, for my opinion, because again, she is no different than what she was before. Now, can we argue that that's a problem, that she is no different than what she was before? Sure, we can argue that too. But to me, there was a video package that was done on her when she would say Mia. Remember it? Because that was just the way she's just not presented though. She's not presented as a big deal. She's not. If you were to watch that show, you don't know anything about Mercedes Moné / Sasha Banks. You will look at her and you'd be like, okay, so I disagree a bit. I disagree a bit. From my point of view, I do get that vibe from her. When she first comes out, they show the Titantron that says CEO.
I'm talking about how you're setting her up for success.
You talking about the psychology behind it?
Yes.
I'm talking about just the production that I'm seeing on TV.
No. I'm talking about how she's being presented as a big deal. She's not as much as she should be. And when you talk about presenting somebody, it doesn't necessarily always just mean wins and losses. It's how they're being presented. It's how they're shot. It's how they're looked. It's how they're talked about. And it's to kind of E's point to what he was saying, it's not the level it needed to be. All right, E, so I got one for you. But so it was a miss. I'm still watching. I wasn't turned off like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm still watching. This is the one I had to cut it off. This is the one.
What show?
I'm still on Dynamite.
Okay, got it.
They do a fantastic Darby Allin video package. He's going in on Jack Perry. I wish you would have got fired. You don't bring none to this company. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, okay, I like this. Very nice. They set up the match for All In. Immediately after the video package, Darby Allin comes out for, I'm going to assume, a match. Jack Perry jumps him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So you immediately step on the video package that now you're not going to get mileage out of. Cool. Whatever. I wouldn't have done that, but I'm still there. They fight in the back. Jack Perry beating the hell out of Darby Allin. Throws him into the garage door.
Yep.
Tony Schiavone makes a joking comment while Darby Allin's getting his brains beat out. Something, I can't remember exactly what it said, but it was something to the fact, and the tone was, ho, that one hurt, brother. Something to that effect. Okay? Stay with me.
There's more?
Now Darby Allin is stuck in between the concrete and this garage door. Yep. Jack Perry presses the button on the garage door. Now Jack Perry is stuck underneath the garage door.
Darby is stuck under.
I'm sorry, Darby Allin.
Okay, got it.
Still with me?
Yep.
Okay. Now Jack Perry goes to grab one of the production boxes. He's about to just smash Darby Allin's head.
Smash his head in. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and kill Darby Allin, right? Security comes. Cool, I ain't got no problem with it. Now remember, Tony Schiavone, you helped set the stage for what I'm seeing because you think it's fun and games. Okay? Jack Perry hits a couple of the security guards.
Before you keep going, so then real quick, Darby, so he's perpendicular then to the closed thing because you saying he's about to get hit in the head with something. So he's a long
laying on his back.
Yeah, it's like a big old thing. He's about to ram the thing into his head on the ground.
I'm thinking he's like this with the door. I thought he was like parallel. He's perpendicular. Okay, got it. He's perpendicular.
On his back.
Got it. Okay, got it.
So as soon as he's about to, he pushes it. Couple of security guys knocks the box away. They grab Jack Perry. Okay, hits a couple of them. He's not taken away yet. Jack Perry then turns to the camera. Darby Allin is still on the ground.
So his feet's out like in Wizard of Oz, right?
Well,
on
no,
the
you
other
don't
side.
see. No, you see his head. So you see his head.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. He then turns and looks at the camera to start talking to Darby, even though Darby is right in front of him. And what he says to Darby is, I challenge you to a coffin match at All In. Stay with me now.
There's more.
So now I'm like, okay, this was really bad. For the reasons I don't have to say why it was bad. You screamed that to Darby Allin while he's down on the cell. You think you're so big and bad? Me and you, coffin match, All In. Don't look at the camera. Then he hits a couple other security guards, right? Boom, a little bit. Rough him up a little bit. Stop me when I'm lying, E. They come back. They come back.
This is a 2-hour show?
Of course it's a 2-hour show. It's Dynamite. They come back. Okay. Tony Khan approves the match. We're getting Darby Allin versus Jack Perry coffin match at All In. Can somebody please explain to me why Tony Khan would approve that match? Darby Allin didn't ask for it. Jack Perry asked for it. Who was it that punched Tony Khan in the stomach and left him laying?
Jack Perry.
Jack fucking Perry. Why would you approve that match that Jack Perry wanted is beyond me.
Because Tony was always Team Elite. He was always Team Elite.
I got to cut this off right now. Because this is what I used to feel like watching Vince McMahon ran creative, where it doesn't make sense, and you are not that you're insulting my intelligence, but you don't know what you're doing. That's the thing. These matches they have announced for All In, I'm excited for the majority of them. If you're talking about just match versus match, they're already setting up All Out. All Out looks tremendous. We're getting Pac versus either Ospreay or MJF. We're getting Swerve versus Hangman. And there's another match they announced. Fantastic. It's how you get there, which is horrendous. It is horrible. And if anybody knows anything about how to set up wrestling, this ain't it. And I don't care what anybody says. Label me an AEW hater. Label me being too particular. Because if I was wrong, attendance would be up, ratings would be up, and public perception about AEW will be up. And it's not. And you can point to why it's not. And they just announced they're going to Texas, I think next July. Let me see. I think right here. All In Texas 2025. They're going to
a stadium,
Light
right?
Field. Yep, in Arlington, Texas. Saturday, July 12th. Super happy for them for that. I think it's a 40 or 45,000 seater. That's tremendous. They're going to have over 50,000 people at All In this coming Sunday. That's tremendous. But that doesn't take away from the horrendous things that I continue to watch on television that makes me turn that show off. And I only watched it last night because I was like, I want to be fair. Because as bad as I thought the SmackDown beginning was, I still watch the next hour and 45 minutes. I'm like, so let me go back and watch an hour. And then they did some good things like the Brian Danielson video package I thought was tremendous. But even that, this is Brian Danielson's last match. This is it. And it doesn't feel that way. How is this his last match? And like the same way y'all put that push on Sting, it needs to be something similar with Brian Danielson. And it's just not. It's just misstep. For me, it's misstep after misstep. It's like one step forward, two step backwards.
I love when you tell a story. I really, you should go like on NPR on Saturdays. They have like these story times with The Rock. No. You can go in there. You tell a really great story.
Story time with
The Rock. But what got me out of everything you said was Jack Perry still trying to beat up Darby Allin while he was stuck underneath the garage door when she's not going anywhere. And then looking in the camera, now that would probably be my only thing. I'm like, that's a little bit much. I mean, he's right there. The camera can shoot you there, telling him in his face. You don't have to look in the camera to say that. Get the camera to watch you and do it. Wow. That's pretty bad.
I just love how we can have these honest, open conversations about AEW shows. Because I remember back in April, y'all was telling me, like, maybe you're just an AEW hater.
Man, you gotta stop saying the exact same thing. You said this 2 months ago when I said this, and you said it was January when that happened.
Because you know why? Because like I was battling this for like over a year and a half. Because this stuff has been the same problem for the past 3 years.
Man,
but when I watched that show, I didn't feel it. Maybe because I was sick, right? But I saw everything you said, and I felt like this was like one of the worst storied shows that they've had. Because you think about it, you asked the question like, why would Tony Khan accept that match, right?
Right.
Why is Tony Khan still allowing the Young Bucks and EVPs to run havoc on the show? Like, why does he have such a weak authority figure for himself in the case of Christopher Daniels? Christopher Daniels got his ass whooped, like right on TV, like right. This is like a couple weeks ago, like right. This dude is so weak as an authority figure, right? You think about the way they've like WWE treats, Jack Tunney back in the day, Nick Aldis now. What's my man?
Don't forget about Regal.
William Regal in NXT. what's my man on Raw, man? His
Adam
name
Pearce?
escaped me. I'm not sure. Adam Pearce, right? Like those are authority figures with respect, right? That you're not putting hands on them guys without repercussions, right? Like they literally beat up like Christopher Daniels, like in a segment, right, with no repercussions. Like, why is Tony Khan still allowing these dudes to make matches and to do things on the show, right? That's the question, right? And then at the end of the show, I'm sure you might be working your way to it, but we gotta wrap up pretty soon. Like, then you got the main event, EVPs versus the Acclaim. FTR, they get involved in the match. They get involved in the match. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, we get a no contest or a disqualification or whatever. So Tony Khan, over the headset, I guess, told him, like, oh, we're going to have a number one contenders match between the Acclaim, who just got screwed out of a championship match. They're going to be in a number one contenders match on Collision with FTR for the guys who actually screwed them out of their match, right? Wait a minute. Why do they got to be in a number one contenders match? They got screwed. And how does FTR deserve, because they screwed Acclaim out of the match, deserve to be in a number one contenders match for All In or All Out, whatever it is? Like, what a horrible decision.
Did you hear Daniel's explanation for that?
What did he say?
His explanation was, well, if the Young Bucks would have won today, FTR would have been no more contenders because of their record recently, but they got involved, and that's how they set this matchup. You don't put them in a match to see if they can go to a championship when they were the reason why the match ended in the first place. No, you would give, and I don't care about seeing them in the match. I don't. But you would give daddy ass people, and I call them daddy ass people because they had Billy Gunn come out in the middle of the match and got the biggest pop of the night, damn near. And then he got thrown out. It was so much about Billy Gunn in that match. I was waiting for him to turn on somebody or do something because I'm like, there's way too much on him and not.
He's the biggest dude in the match. That's why.
I was
right?
like, yo. What?
Man, but stay on Billy Gunn though. Stay on Billy Gunn though. You know when all hell broke loose at the end, like right, and it's like it's a whole, you know, like everybody's fighting each other, whatever. Like Billy Gunn, been in the business for 50 years, right? He is throwing the softest like punches I've ever seen in my life. Like, what are you doing? Like, I know you could lay in some better punches than that, man. Like, it just looks so Bush League. Like that last segment. Like with the decision, the way they set up that match, with the disqualification, with Billy Gunn with them soft ass punches, I'm like, it just looked horrible. This is one of them things to where if I had my wrestling friends who have never said, "Hey, E, I'm gonna watch this show with you," and this is what they had to watch. This is when they say, "Hey, you know wrestling's fake, right?" Like this is the stuff they got to see. Like my brother-in-law, every time he watches AEW, you got something smart to say. Like he would be cracking jokes and making his company like an ass the entire night. Like, there's the show, the storytelling is ridiculous. That's when Jeannie Peppermint said that she's in awe of like the storytelling on this show. I said, you gotta be either she's in awe how bad it is, like it gotta be it, because like it's like, man, they are trying to do some stories, right? They're bad. They're just bad.
And there's just
I'm glad I didn't watch Dynamite though.
There's just too many great minds backstage that can't tighten that stuff
Too many.
Too
many.
When I see that, and when I know for 100% fact, and everybody who listens to our show and they appreciate what we do, I always give what they could have done. I don't ever just come out here and shit on it and be like, hey man, that shit sucked, and then we move on. I always say what they could have done to make it better. And I'm not saying like I'm some type of like wrestling booking genius or not, but that is what's missing. E, you just asked on the last pod, could Vince Russo help AEW? I said no, because Vince Russo can't be the last guy, because we saw what that looked like in WCW. That can't work. He has to be the second to last guy. Tony Khan needs the last guy. Tony Khan's the second to last guy. He has the idea. You give it to somebody else to mold, to manipulate, and then put it on television. But it is. They're still going to do well. We're still waiting to hear about this TV deal that hopefully is going to be great for them. I'm sure it is. I'm happy because I'm sure that the pay-per-view is going to be on Max. Much easier to pull them up, watch them. We'll be able to go back and hopefully watch some of these Dynamites and things of that nature. But some of the stuff, E, you were talking about, it brings me back to the Dark Order on that episode, and I believe it was a January episode when the Dark Order came and they jumped the Bucks, and it was some of the worst physicality you would ever see in wrestling, let alone on national television. And I remember at that point, the news and the noise got so loud, they kind of had to pivot a little bit. They had to kind of course correct. And now it just seems like Tony Khan is never going to course correct because he feels like if you say something negative about AEW, it's because you're against AEW.
Yep.
And it's not because you want to see them do better. You want to see them do well. Hell, man, I would give a lot for us to be able to get a product in AEW that I will look forward to watching like I do Mondays and Fridays. And it has been literal months since I have been excited to watch a Dynamite show. I'm still there for the pay-per-views, but even that has waned. I didn't care about the Forbidden Door build. The show was what it was. All In is Sunday. And we'll do some type of breakdown, I'm sure, on Thursday's pod. I don't even care about breaking down that show. That's a problem. And if it wasn't for me being such a massive wrestling fan, I wouldn't be going all out. Right? Because that's money I can save and put that towards, NXT's coming, we're going to NXT or WrestleMania, right? Or whatever the case may be, whatever show. But because they do very well with pay-per-views. But when your biggest show is 6 days out, and not once the three of us have got on this platform or even in text message or even on phone calls and said, man, you know what I'm really excited for at All In? We are about to see Bryan Danielson's last match against Swerve, I might add.
Maybe it
Bryan
won't be.
Danielson's the GOAT. Second time.
Maybe it won't be.
He has put on for a black wrestler. He did it with Kofi in Jersey. And WrestleMania, he's about to do it for Swerve. This is Swerve's biggest match he's ever going to have. And we aren't even talking about that. Not because we don't want to, not because we're haters. It's because the shit we got to watch between that is so bad. I can't get to talking about the good stuff because I can't get over your missed opportunity after missed opportunity after missed opportunity. And we got Ricochet coming in. We got Bobby Lashley and MVP coming in. I'm not sure if they're coming in immediately or they're going to go somewhere else first, but they're coming in. You got an opportunity to do something special. And there is no track record of you showing me you can do something special with outside talents coming in and you making them larger than life stars like they need to be presented to only help your company. That's a problem.
Let me tell you something though, Matt. For me, it was telling when I watched, and I don't know which AEW show it was. I watched a lot of them together. It was Cesaro, Claudio Castagnoli. He was in an interview with Okada.
The promo that was on Dynamite.
Yeah. Okay, that was Dynamite. Yep. Kind of, he cut. Actually, Okada speaks much better English than Andrade. I understood what he was saying. But he got his catchphrase at the end. He always calls everybody a bitch at the end, right?
Yep.
Which is funny. But then Claudio goes like, man, like, look, I don't want that Okada. I want the 4-time New Japan champion. I want the Rainmaker Okada. I don't want this guy, right? Because the Okada that we've gotten since being in AEW is not the main event superstar, crossover star wrestler that we expected when we got AEW. We thought he was going to be, if he went to WWE, he's been a very much of a background character, right? Even in the EVP storyline. Like, they don't do this intentionally, but they don't do a great job of showcasing talented wrestlers. I feel like in a lot of ways they've really like lessened the star quality of Okada since he's been there, and that's been a problem. Like, I'm glad that Tony Khan has all these big announcements coming up. Like, we haven't talked about the Texas show. I mean, cool, right? I hope they announce the next one's going to be a TV deal, but none of that's going to fix their creative. Like, we're going to continue to have problems with AEW until they can fix the creative. It's a big problem for the show. It's doing their stars a disservice. Like, all the haters, like, they're getting, so if everyone who doesn't like AEW are haters, they're getting haters by the day. Like, right? Like, it's less and less engagement for AEW. They're not the challenger brand. They're a brand that's shrinking, whose audience is shrinking every single day because there's a much better program that actually does it better. They're giving you good wrestling, like good to great wrestling, right? They're giving you great storylines and compelling storylines and characters. AEW got to figure out how they can do that as well. Not necessarily the storyline piece of it, but they got to learn how to display their superstars like superstars.
I bit my tongue, Rhodesia, when E was talking. So, E brought up the Okada Claudio segment, right?
Okay.
Typical babyface goes, heel goes, babyface goes. Typical segment. Renee was the interviewer. It was a no physicality thing. Hey, we can't touch each other. Cool. Claudio goes first. Okada goes to E's point. Okada leaves.
Yep.
That's when Claudio brings up, I don't want the funny EVP lackey. I want the...
He should have said that to his face.
He should have said it to his face.
Hey, bro, come back here. I got something to say.
And you finish that with a stare down, and then maybe that is when Okada hits him with the bitch word, right? And you pop the crowd that likes that, and then he walks away. But for you to give your best material after the guy has walked away,
after he leaves,
what are we doing?
All he had to do was say, "Hey, come here, I got something. Hey, let me tell you this." Right? It would have brought more intensity to that, right? And now, if we get the Rainmaker at this pay-per-view, now it makes more sense, right? Because at this point, Okada got to watch the show back to hear what he said, right?
Exactly.
Like it just and look, and he don't seem like a guy who watching the show back. He seemed like he the guy to check in, check out.
Well, from what it sounds like, if he did what y'all saying, he wouldn't be able to get his bitch off. So that was important.
He got it off. No, he got it off.
He got off. No, and when he went to go walk away, all Claudio had to do was say, "Hey, no, come here," and he'll say what he got to say.
You get back here and say the same thing. That Okada is not going to work against me. I'm a world-class athlete. You bring that Okada to me, I'm taking that title. That's when you give me that. And that is the stuff where I say, this is fucking common sense, guys. When y'all take this, or when y'all had it on the sheet, and you said, okay, we're going to do a promo segment here with Claudio.
The promo was him saying bitch at the end. That was it.
God bless. All right, well, that's it. That's it. They got all in this Sunday. Like I said, I'm
we'll
sure
be reviewing
we'll
it this week.
Yeah, we'll touch on it somehow, some way on Thursday. Unless WWE does something fantastic on Raw, and then that takes up the entire hour and a half of our show, then we won't touch on it. Oh shit! Actually, we pod on Sundays, and that's when the show. That's when the show is. So we got to figure that out. If we want to go early before the show and then still drop it on Monday, we'll talk about all that offline. We'll figure that out. But I guess that is it. Unless y'all got anything else, y'all. Is there anything positive y'all want to end the show with? Anything fun?
I'll save my question for next episode.
Give us a teaser.
There's no teasing to this. It's a yes or no question.
You don't want to give it to us? If it's only yes or no, it's pretty quick.
Nope.
Make up something.
Well, I'm about to partake in my last cheat meal of the week. About to get a little Wingstop. Oh, a little lemon pepper.
Can you eat? Can you taste it?
Oh yeah, I taste everything.
Okay. Well, I bet you.
That's why he was so disappointed. That's why he was so disappointed that he couldn't go get the rub down.
See, what I got to do is, though, which is nasty, I got to plug my nose up. Because yesterday I was trying to eat, like my nose just ran all over the food. It was really disgusting.
All right, man. And that's a wrap. Guys, follow us on Twitter at That's FNW.
We talking about drip. We ain't talking about that kind of drip.
Yeah.
He's dripping from more than one hole in his body. Thank you for listening. We love y'all. We will see y'all in the next one.